All right, hi everybody. We're starting a new unit on proportions here, so we're going to talk about like the most basic idea in this unit, which is ratios. So let's skip ahead here. So what is a ratio? A ratio is a way to compare two things, two quantities in math. So for example, we might compare the seventh graders in my classroom to all the kids in my classroom. So this year, I have three seventh graders out of 11 total students. So I might write it like this, 3 to 11. I might write it like this, 3 to 11. Or I might write it like this, 3 over 11. So these are the three methods of writing a ratio: the colon, the word to, or the fraction. The fraction is going to be the most useful way of writing the ratio because that's how we're going to do a lot of math with ratios and proportions, is with fractions. So one thing to keep in mind is that order is very important whenever you write your ratio. So the very first quantity, the very first item that was mentioned in my problem here was seventh graders. So in all of my ratios, I had to write the number of seventh graders first. All right. And then they asked for the number of all the students in my room. So that number came second. It's very important to keep your order consistent whenever you're writing a ratio. So once again here, we compare the three ways to write a ratio: the word to, a colon, or as a fraction. And keep your order consistent. All right, clearing ink, moving on. All right, let's do a couple practice. So we're going to write the ratio for squares to total shapes in this selection of shapes we have. We've got 3 squares out of 5 total shapes. Once again, I prefer the fraction, so I'm just going to go with fractions. That's all that's all there is to it. So we could have also done, circles to total shapes, which would be 2 out of 5. Notice how if we were to write ratios for both of those quantities, 3 out of 5 and 2 out of 5 add up to 5 out of 5. That's all the shapes there is in this selection of shapes. We could have asked for circles to squares, which would be 2 to 3. We could have asked for squares to circles, which would be 3 to 2. Another thing about ratios, kids don't like to have improper fractions. They don't like to have fractions where your numerator is greater than your denominator. With ratios, that's going to happen quite often. So we kind of have to get over that feeling. We're just going to have to accept that. All right, here's another example. We're going to write the ratio for vowels to total letters in the words West Branch. So here is our entire thing. How many letters do we have total? Because that's our, we want to know that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 letters in the words West Branch. So because that was mentioned second, that's going to be my denominator. How many vowels do we have? If you don't remember, vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. So we have 1 E and we have 1 A, so that's 2 vowels. So 2 out of 10. All right, what do you notice about this fraction? It's not simplified. All right, we should be simplifying our ratios. So we're going to simplify this ratio to 1 out of 5. So 1 out of every 5 letters in West Branch is a vowel. All right, that's it for ratios. Pretty basic. We're going to move on to proportions next, but we'll get there in the next video. Thank you for joining me.